So we do the chanting right off. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami, Tadayampi Buddham saranam gacchami, Tadayampi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Tadayampi Sangham saranam gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the six paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the six paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the six paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the six paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from the happiness beyond suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this. Great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all of my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are, I vow to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are, I vow to master them all. However endless the Buddha's way is, I vow to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Tayata gati gati para samgati bodhi soha. Tayata gati para samgati bodhi soha. Tayata gati para samgati bodhi soha. So now time for a little bit of meditation. Initially to release the tension from the body. So get yourself in a good position and bring your mind inside your body. So gently close your eyes, lips gently touching, tongue resting on the upper palate, just above the top teeth. And focus on different parts of the body. And as you do so, release whatever tension you may have at that part of the body. So starting from the tips of the toes, you work your way up the body to the shoulders, down to the tips of the fingers, and then back to the top of the head. So let's take a few moments to do this now. And once you've completed releasing the tension from all over the body, Scan it once more to see if there's any leftover tension, just very briefly. And if there is, release. And now bring your focus to the tip of your nose initially. And we will follow the feeling of the breath as we breathe in the nose all the way into the lungs and back out the nose again. Breathing in and breathing out. If any thoughts or any mental activity arises, don't cling to it or grasp at it. Try to force it away or deny it even. But just let it go naturally by replacing your mind back onto your breath. And don't worry about it. Just know that that's the way it works for us. Thoughts arise, they pass. It may lead to a stream of thoughts, but each time, go back to the breath and have no worries. And if your mind starts to become dull, then wake it up a little bit by refocusing on your breath more brightly. And you can also add the extra technique of counting the breaths from 1 up to 10. 1 in breath, 1 out breath is 1, and so on. And if you get distracted while counting towards 10, go back to 1 at that time. The counting is just to help you to focus on the feeling of the breath as you breathe in and breathe out. We are engaging the 4 foundations of mindfulness here. The form, so the physical breath, the feeling, mental feeling, the mind, and the mind activities, all at the same time. Just like, when we focus on different parts of the body, like for instance, the air goes past the throat on the way in, it's quite cool, passes the chest area. As it enters the lungs, they fill with the air, the abdomen rises, then it drops as the lungs compress and the air leaves the lungs, leaves the body. So you're focusing on some of these areas to help you to keep focused on the feeling of the breath. So the counting is kind of like that. So let's practice in silence for a little bit. Don't try too hard, don't try too little. Not too much, not too loose, not too tight. Just the middle path. So now we can feel pleased with ourselves for engaging in the practice and fill ourselves with the universal loving kindness, the great Maha Metta, the great universal loving kindness, which is not separate from universal compassion and joy, based on equanimity, which in turn is based on wisdom. Having the feeling of loving kindness, filling yourself with this feeling, as well as utilizing the visualization technique, filling your whole being with the white light. Fill yourself with so much loving kindness that it now overflows and radiates outwards to your loved ones initially, family and friends. So this overflowing of the white light goes from your heart center and enters into their heart centers and fills their whole being. Of course, the white light is representative of universal loving kindness. Remember that we're always having some sort of image in the mind, always having some sort of speech, silent speech in the mind, having some sort of feelings, and then also beliefs or belief. So let's utilize this in our relative mind to train the mind to eventually go beyond relative only, to realizing beyond, realizing the ultimate, realizing there is no difference or separateness between the ultimate and the relative, between nirvana and samsara. So really see that your loved ones are happy, free from suffering, and are peaceful. And now also include those you're indifferent towards, may regard as strangers. And also those you regard as enemies. Feeling all of these three different types of people from your own perspective, through your own habitual tendencies, mental habits, and comes from your experiences with these different beings as well, from the past and now and in the present. May they all be happy, free from suffering, and be peaceful. And now let's extend it beyond just human beings to all sentient beings now, starting around your immediate area, all of the living beings that live on the land, in the waters, fly through the air, whether born from wombs, eggs, moisture, or through transformation. As it says in the Metta Sutta, loving kindness scripture, may all sentient beings be happy. May they live in safety and joy, all sentient beings, whether weak or strong, great or small, short or tall, seen or unseen, near or distant, born or to be born. May they all be happy. And now let's extend this loving kindness out further and further distance-wise throughout your whole state or county, and other states and counties throughout your whole country. And all of the countries throughout the world. Initially, those you have an affinity towards, then those you're indifferent towards, which I would say is most of them. Those you have some negative feelings towards. And have your loving kindness also pervade throughout all of the waters, the oceans, rivers, lakes, and so on. All the way down to the core of the earth, to the outermost atmosphere. And then throughout the whole solar system. And throughout the whole galaxy. And the universe, as we know it, even though we don't know it yet. Not really. It's huge. You could almost say limitless, really. And beyond this universe alone, maybe other universes throughout infinite space. Also be present here and now to recite the dedication prayer. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious bodhicitta not yet born arise and grow. May that born have no decline but increase forevermore. And may the precious view of shunyata, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline but increase forevermore. So we'll continue having some commentary. It's commentary part number 7, actually, on this teaching, the last teaching, number 50 in the book. And this one, as you will recall, I put together with the other one from the same song. So the verses and also the chorus, which I'd already put together for a website in the USA. Okay, so, and I'm glad that I remembered that, because I had actually forgotten until I thought, you know what, I really should give commentary on the verses. I think the verses are probably they're kind of like what would normally be the chorus, the central part of the song, actually. The verses have the real deeper teaching, you could say, like that. Whereas the chorus is almost summarizing in a sense. Okay, so, which is actually not, in pop music and things like that, it's probably the other way around. It happens like that. Sorry, the other way around rather than it happening like that. Okay, so anyway, we went last week through everything. Everything is like a flicker of a lamp, life of a flower, a star at dawn, a dewdrop in the sun. So all conditioned mental and physical phenomena are just like the flame of a candle flickering in the wind and not ever remaining the same. And the life of a flower is very brief and in a constant state of flux, dependent on many changing conditions. And like when the sun comes up in the morning, the stars at dawn, the so-called stars that appeared in the night sky, disappear. And just like the dew or moisture that gathers on grass and other plants overnight evaporates in the warmth of the morning sun. So all phenomena are like this. I think that we know this already, you guys. I think today, is there only 4 of us? Or maybe 5, because 2 in one camera. I know that Hanneke from England, she popped her head in before, but I do know that once a month for the next couple of months, or I think maybe 3 months or something, she's partaking in a course to become a yoga teacher, I think, or meditation. I can't remember all the details. But anyway, she has to chuff off early Saturday, and it's an all-day course. So she must have just popped her head in to say hello before she got on the way. And so I noticed David Maureen, maybe not here today as well. I know Ahmed said he's not available today, but that's okay. Like I've said before, even if there's not many people that participate live with us, there's quite a few people that watch the video. Some on the YouTube channel, some on Facebook. And so I'm very happy to obviously continue teaching the teachings, even if it was just me, then I would actually still do the recordings anyway. So, but I'm really glad that you continue to be involved and participating, and not giving up. But never give up the Dharma, Even if you give up me, never give up the Dharma. But I'm here for you, so don't give up me either. Okay, so we'll continue onwards. I'll go to the chorus. So everything, all conditioned mental and physical phenomena, comes and goes. So it arises and ceases, always becoming something else, dependent on cause and effect. No space, no time. So nothing exists independently. All things are interdependent. No thing knows everything, and with no self-identity. Everything, which is all conditioned mental and physical phenomena, just let it go. Don't be attached to anything. Don't hang on to the past. Live in the present. No one owns anything. For if you think about it, there is actually nothing permanent to own anyway, and no permanent self to own anything with. So maybe I should write a song just with some of those short explanations. So basically, if you think about it, so everything, like I mentioned before, I'm talking about mental phenomena and physical phenomena, all things, whether we know about them or not, whether we know them well, understand them well, or whether it's really beyond us at the moment, all of these things are constantly changing. They have no self. And this conditioned phenomena has the nature of being unsatisfactory anyway. So why would we want it to be permanent? Why would we want it to be a concrete self, if it's going to be unsatisfactory? And okay, so it comes and goes. So all things, arise and cease, and they're always becoming something else, dependent on cause and effect. We know cause and effect, it happens every moment, and even nano moments, in between moments, cause and effect is always in play. We're always, with this unenlightened mind, you could say, for convenience, we're always creating the causes, karma. And at the same time, the vipaka, or the effects or the fruit of the karma from before, some of it is ripening here and now in creating the existence and the conditions we have right now. So you could say that there's karma from the past ripening right now, and at the same time, we're creating more karma right now. Of course, if we check our mind, then maybe we can not create karma now. Or maybe we can create what we call good karma or good merit, good conditions to counteract against the negativities that we may have engaged in and therefore the negative karma we've created in the past. So purifying. But anyway, so it comes and goes. So let's say a phenomena, okay, a thought, so mental phenomena, as well as something physical, maybe our bodies even, or anything, actually arises due to cause and effect. When the conditions are right, the result of the karma, in this case, like a collective type karma as well, ripens. It comes into being, it arises. Then it has some sort of growth and some sort of existence, maybe some sort of balance could be a second, it could be a human lifetime, or most of the lifetime, or parts of the lifetime, I should say. Or it could be a very long time, like suns or whatever. Okay, some sort of balance. And then it has some sort of disintegration where it starts, like us human beings, for instance, we start to get older, the body doesn't work as well, and so on. Okay, so, and then eventually it finishes. Okay, so you could say there are 3 stages to this coming and going. So the arising, the existing, and then the passing, or the coming, the existing, and the going. Or you could add the 4th one, which is part of the disintegration. So there's the balance of the existence, and then the existence starts to become, broken, you could say, to eventually to go away. So fading away in a sense. And so all phenomena is like this. And so if you look at the teaching on emptiness, concept of emptiness, because it is a concept to us right now, or the wisdom of emptiness, maybe, perfecting the wisdom of emptiness, that's beyond paramita. There's no coming and no going. So even if you look at it from a relative point of view, this coming, this arising or coming, the existing and the passing or the going, this is just a constant state of flux. So it's a continuum. We call parts of it coming, existing, going. That's what we call it. But actually, it's just a continual, it's cyclic existence, it's like a cycle, right? So that's samsara. But, so from that point of view, no coming, no going. We're just labeling it. It's for different stages of our existence. But if you look at it from an ultimate point of view, how could there be coming and going? I mentioned that this arises, or we arise, or things arise due to cause and effect. But when there's no cause, no effect. So no coming, no going. If there's no coming, how could there be going? And vice versa. If there's no cause, how can there be an effect? If there's no previous effects, how can there be causes? Broke the cycle. You know? And so I think we'll leave that there. How am I doing for time? 12 more minutes. So we will finish this today, for sure. No space, no time. So nothing exists independently. All things are interdependent. We know that. How could things exist independently? To use that example again of water, if the hydrogen existed independently, or the water existed independently with all of the constituents, so the independent hydrogen, independent oxygen, not mixed together, then there's no water. How could it be possible? That's probably not the greatest example, but I think you know what I mean. So when we say no space, no time, there is space. In fact, we even use the idea of space to express the teaching of emptiness, the teaching of the unlimited mind, the Buddha nature. I'm using all of these words for convenience today. We need these words to express something, to explain something, but the words are not what we're talking about, ultimately. All right, but in this case, I'm talking no space, no time. Space, this idea of space, infinite space, got planets in it and things like that. It's just a name. It's also, you could say, changing, even though it looks like it's unchanging. But it's too much to go into right today, okay? I'd like to give teaching on that for about 3 months, actually, but I won't right now. But I think you know what I'm talking about. No space, no time. What is time? Past, present, future. Or you could say infinite time. Yeah, okay. That's just words again, just a concept again. So no space, no time. Nothing exists solely by itself. All things are interdependent. The 12 links of dependent origination, once again, or Pratitya Samutpada, check them out. I've given commentary on it. In fact, I think I'm sharing the teachings from, what would it be, 2022, when they pop up in Facebook. And I think it's coming up to the commentary on that, maybe this week. So if you want to have some commentary on the 12 links, then have a look at that as part of the 6th Paramita commentary. And also the teaching, the Heart Sutra, just check that out. I think that'll come the following or the week after. Okay, so because you'll get more of a grasp of what I'm going on about right now, okay, for sure. So no thing knows everything. So there's no thing, ourselves, no phenomena, mental and physical or separate. There's no self-identity. We can't say there is a self there. Even if we were the only things, and even if we were separate, we're changing. Okay, but you look outside of just our own mind, we can see there's other living beings. The fact that we can communicate with other living beings, even if it's fragmented, means we are not separate from them. If we were separate, we could never communicate with each other. We never interact whatsoever. We couldn't, if we were totally independent, we wouldn't be able to eat food because that food would be independent from us and vice versa. So things are interdependent, okay? Then let it go. Don't be attached to anything. We find certain things pleasing, which is fine. Just don't be attached to that. There are certain things that are pleasurable and you can enjoy them. Just do your best not to be attached to it because you know what, if they don't come again or if they go away, then we get upset, disturbs the mind. And then there's also some things that are unpleasant, just recognize that if we have to deal with these things or these circumstances, then just deal with them with a calm mind, peaceful mind. They don't last anyway. So don't have an aversion. So attachment and aversion come together. And do your best, to have a mind that is free from this attachment and aversion as much as possible. We will have to remind ourselves, especially when we are confronted with strong attachments or strong aversions that we have maybe, been with for so many lifetimes, that we have to remind ourselves now, no, don't do that. Experience, yeah, no problem. Enjoy, no problem, but without attachment. Don't hang on to the past. Yeah, past, you can learn from the past. Most human beings don't learn from the past, unfortunately. In fact, I said a while ago, maybe our lives aren't long enough to learn from the past. Even if you live to 100, maybe maybe we need to live to 150 so that we can learn from it, so we don't repeat it, and then we can teach it to others. But this isn't the case. This is idealistic thinking. So it seems that human beings don't learn from the past. Otherwise, there would be no wars, no pandemics, none of these negativities. But human beings continually cause these issues. So don't learn from the past, though we can. Okay, so don't hang on to the past, though. Don't dwell on it, especially the negativities. If you do think about the past, learn from it. But live in the present. So your learning happens in the present. You could say learn from the memories of the past, but you actually learn in the present. You can't learn any other time. You can't learn in the future. It's not here. You can't learn in the past. It's gone. So as we learn things, we learn them now here. Okay. No one owns anything. So this is one of my favorite little lines. Maybe it should be its own song. For there is nothing permanent to own anyway. There isn't. Okay, you may own your house, your car, your computer, own these glasses, this mouse, but not really. Don't really own these things. And also no permanent self. I've already spoken about that owns anything anyway. I think that should be obvious on a surface level. So just have to absorb our mind with this knowledge, this knowing. Okay. So the second verse says, everything, all conditioned mental and physical phenomena, is like the changing of the tides, or are like the changing of the tides. The ocean tides are always in a constant state of change. On the coastlines around the world, this results in moments that we note as high tide, low tide, mid tide, etc. And I'm sure that all of you know this. It may be easier that I live on the beach, that I can be reminded every day, whether it's looking out the window, don't particularly see the actual sand, see the ocean there because there's a bit of a cliff out here. And then, paths, stairways down to the beach on both sides. But I go to the beach every day, at least for a walk, maybe walk in the water and wading in the water a little bit. And I get reminded of the high tide, low tide. Yesterday was very low tide. The last few days has been very low tide. Last week was high tide at this time, or at the time I go walking. All right, so this is constantly changing. In fact, if you sit and watch the ocean, I think it's a fantastic thing to observe, phenomena to observe, or phenomenon to observe, because you can just see this change all the time, You can see the emptiness all the time, and it's infinite, it appears. The horizon, if you look straight out at the horizon out there, is water. That's all you see. But there's things beyond that. So it's very easy to check it out, Quite often I'm walking, meditating, not often, all the time, walking, meditating, and continually being aware of this ocean, this change. So it's a good thing to know. That's why I added it to the song, even though this example is not in the Dharma Sutra, or I don't think in other Prajna Paramita or perfection of wisdom scriptures either. I think very short time left, maybe 1 or 2 minutes. So I will wrap this up pretty quickly. Lightning in a summer cloud. As we know, a flash of lightning comes and goes very quickly. We had a pretty amazing storm down here, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I'm sure you did around these areas, Melbourne and so on. But here it was just bizarre. And it happened so quickly, though, the lightning, psh, did you miss it? Yeah, missed it. Or, psh, no, I didn't miss that, it happens so quickly. Or phenomena like this, especially compared to um, the cosmos time, for instance, even though I don't think that's a phrase. A bubble in a stream, as the water of a stream flows over varying depths, it may mix with air and create bubbles which swiftly pass, obviously. And also a phantom, so that's something that is not real, but imagined to be real while we're awake. And a dream, something that is not real, but imagined to be real while we are asleep. So thus shall we think of this fleeting world. This is how we should understand all conditioned mental and physical phenomena. Thus shall ye think of this fleeting world, a star at dawn, a bubble in a stream, a flash of lightning in a summer cloud, a flickering lamp, a phantom, and a dream, said the Buddha. Okay, so I rejoice in your goodness, and I rejoice in our time we spend together, and in your Dharma studies, your Dharma practice, your Dharma sharing, whenever you can do that, whether that's doing it from your mind on the cushion or off the cushion. I rejoice in all of that. And rejoicing is a very important thing too. So I know we have less than a minute now, and I'll see you next week. We'll have some commentary on the growth of Buddhism in Australia and other Western countries. But this article has teachings throughout it. So we utilize whatever teachings are in there, teachings such as love and kindness and so on. Okay. So enjoy your dinner.